Actually, I think it's only a door, so...
Yeah. So there's the white car of Ted Björk, but look at this. Huff trying to come back around the outside, and it's okay up to there. No dramas behind, except Muller's going very slowly. But watch as there's contact with the left rear of Huff's car and Bernani's front wheel. Here they're okay, they're side by side. It's that touch that bounces Huff in the air, possibly just breaks his suspension arm. But then, okay, you've got one car sideways, two cars in the barriers, three cars with one underneath.
Just such a horrendous
Guerrieri, Tarquini, 74, Oriola's in there as well. His car is probably not going to make a restart.
I thought the fire was originally from Huff's car, but actually it's Bjork's car that's on
It's
fire.
both. It's Rob's and Ted's. And you can see why, can't you? That is a big old shunt. That is a very... Oh, look at the wheel off Huff's car. Huff's car came bouncing back down over the top of the accident. There's Esteban Guerrieri as well down there. Now, Norby's made it to the grid. The team is saying, what can we do? And the answer is, when the red flags are out, you can do anything. You can take your tyre trolley out there, you can change tyres, you can fix the car, you can rebuild it. Now then, did Jean-Carl Vernet leave the pit lane? Because if he hasn't, he'll be a lap down. If he has...
I think he did. There'd be no reason why he didn't.
Well, there's Norbert Mikulec with Andrea Adamo. This is going to take a long while to clear up, I'm afraid. First of all, there's a lot of damaged machinery. Secondly, the barriers have taken a massive impact. Third, medical crews need to get to, and I'm pretty sure is that Mehdi or is that Rob? It's one of the SLR drivers. I have a feeling it might be Mehdi, who was just looking very wobbly.
I think it's Rob.
Well, Alex is down on the grid with Norby. It is Rob Huff. Let's see what Norby thinks of it all.
Norby, just a quick word. Just talk us through from your perspective what happened there, please.
I don't know. From what I saw, it was Rob and Mehdi colliding, and I experienced a big push from behind. My car went sideways, and because of that, I couldn't avoid the accident. So I'm a bit angry because of that, since if there is not the hit from behind, I think I could have survived the accident, and I don't know now. The car looks a bit like in Ace Ventura.
When you got out just then, you looked obviously, understandably, a little bit shaken, but physically you feel okay?
It was a big impact, but nothing serious from my side. I mean, it was a big crash. I don't know if it was Rob's or Mehdi's car, but as you can see, the damage was quite big, or is quite big.
Well, Richard, you know, none of the drivers, of course, have got anybody else's view other than through their own visor. And...
yeah, Mikulec at this point will just know there's been a big crash behind him and the circuit's blocked, but he won't have any idea of just how violent that accident was. And obviously everybody hopes that we're all okay. You can see Ivan's start very, very poor, almost like he's in the wrong gear.
Yeah.
Just did not get away at all. But as you said, Martin, perhaps a saving grace, because he would have been...
And Colton Shedden as well, you know, all the Audis weaving around him and Aurélien Comte. So Shedden got a very tardy getaway, and that puts him several places behind the accident. Well, watch again.
See, Bernani would think that's his corner by now.
Yeah. But then we get another right-hander, and by that stage they've made contact. It was the back of Rob's car hit the side of Norby's. There is a brief fire. And luckily that has gone out. They have all dry brake lines, so what's in the fuel line goes. So watch what comes to hit Norby. It's the boot of Rob's Golf, and Rob straight into the barriers, and then a big impact from behind from Esteban Guerrieri, Jan Erlache's viewpoint rather. Championship leader doesn't get a good getaway. Ted Björk goes by him. Now he's trying to do what Rob does, but then suddenly, oh my goodness me.
Zero chance for anybody, really.
So he's in the accident, and then Debris comes towards him. Now, where did Ivan end up? It did sound like he was completely in the wrong gear, didn't it? He's getting passed by left, right and centre. Vervish goes by him, who started 19th. Berton goes by him, who started 17th. Flash goes by him, and Ivan avoids all the damage. If we do get restarted,
Did you see the barrier? The barrier was literally a gaping hole.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
punched straight through.
Those are our two wild cards. Jose Rodriguez with his helmet off and Edgar Florindo with his helmet on. Not sure why you'd be walking back with your helmet on. I'd be having that off in a second.
I'm not sure why they'd be walking back unless they've been told to.
Well, there's James Thompson. Because you can't help. You can't help the rescue crews.
You're supposed to stay with your car unless you're told to go.
Well, it may be that marshals said, OK. And, in fact, our race director is saying that there will be a long pause because we've got to replace lots of barriers. So,
yeah.
Norby being called back to the grid by the team. But we will, first of all, we need to clear the wreckage. Then we need to clean the circuit. Then there are the barriers to be dealt with. And as you say, you know, that's punched gaping holes in the barriers. Well, the car is down there being worked on, whether they have another door skin or not. You can see all the tyre trolleys are coming on. Basically, under a red flag, you can fix whatever you can. James Thompson's back down at the grid, and Alex Legui is with him.
You walking back there, James, talk us through what happened.
I think the first two guys came together on the narrowing of the top a bit there, and then they just blocked the track, and everybody just concertinated into each other. But the problem was one of the cars, I obviously had a big accident into the back of Jan, and the car was totally destroyed. But the thing that worried me was one of the cars in front was on fire, so I tried to get out, and
Well, you could hear the definite tremor in Norby's voice as well. You know, when these things happen, the driver is so amped up on adrenaline anyway. You know, that's what allows you to drive a racing car right on the ragged edge, is having the adrenaline that keeps the reflexes sharp and really accelerates the speed at which the brain is working. But when you're in a
Very pleased to see that you look as unharmed as you could do. What happened?
It was a very, very big hit. I don't know what started it, but Benani and Huff went into the barrier. And when I came up there, I was just behind them. Huff, I think it was Huff that was landed on my car. It's crazy. It was such a big impact. And the safety of the cars are fantastic, you know. Not a scratch on me. And I think the others okay. Big shock for Benani and Huff. I hope they're okay. Benani's felt a little bit hurt.
Have you spoken to any of the other drivers?
Yeah, I did. But Huff and Mehdi is the one who had the hardest impact, so they were in big shock.
We saw some flames. Was that coming from your car?
Yeah, it was. But I put the fire extinguisher on directly, and then I was locked in the car, but I managed to kick the window, so that was quite scary, but it was good that I came out. But the fire is stopped, but you know, it was very scary.
Thank you, Ted. Sorry.
And again, you know, the aftershock, you can clearly hear it in his voice. So Rob's there in the front seat of the ambulance rather than on a stretcher in the back, which is always good news. He did have quite the impact. Zaba there. I can't believe his luck. He really can't believe his luck. There's Nat Berton.
Ted Bjork was very, very calm for a guy that's been involved in a huge accident with his car on fire and had to kick his way out the window. He was pretty zen, really.
And again, you know, what we saw, his Hyundai started well, not as well as Norby. Norby got away really, really quickly. But unfortunately, the track was so narrow with the two Golfs in front, he couldn't make any headway. Very slow start for Aurelien Comte and for Ivan Muller, and a slow start as well for Gordon Shedden. And then the Volkswagen side by side, Benani with the inside, Huff trying to come back around the outside so that he gets position for the tight turn 6. And then contact into the barriers they go. Norby gets a hit. It is in fact Benani's car that basically almost came through Ted Bjork's windscreen. Brief fire, as he said. He hit the extinguisher button that put everything out. And this is what it looked like from the next closest seat in the house. This is real speed. Where are you going? You try and avoid the accident, and it comes to find you. Slow start for Ivan Muller. Ahead of Esteban Guerrieri. Guerrieri out-dragged as well by Gabriele Tarquini. Tarquini coming by John Philippi, and look how much you can see. Absolutely nothing. And then suddenly everything is stationary, and that was the hit. Guerrieri rather, shunted into the back, or into the side of the Golf, and the big hit from behind, I think, was a big concertina affair.
Yeah.
Jan Erlache's view.
Testament just how strong these cars are, and you know, hopefully we'll await confirmation, but at the moment it looks like there's nobody with any serious injuries. But yeah, clearly a very, very big accident.
Yeah. It did look as though Ivan Muller was in second on the grid. Now, normally they'll try and select neutral in the gearbox. Oof. Barriers already ripped out there before he gets to the scene of the embouteillage.
Tommy, we stand here, and most definitely not where you'd like to be standing, just watching the screen there, going through that replay. Talk us through what happened, because that was actually the view from your perspective, wasn't it?
Well, you saw that the two Volkswagen, they didn't respect each other here in the high-speed right-hander. And he went up the air. I mean, the guardrail's completely gone. I mean, gone. So big damage. Mehdi was in bad shape. He didn't even know what he was doing. So I talked to him. He just went away with hospital. He was grabbing here, so I think ribs broken or something like this because of the impact. No blood, so that was fine. But he grabbed me by my face. Hey Tom, I have to race. I said, no, you cannot race. It's impossible. So he was in complete shock. Rob was just sitting on the side, was white, but he felt a little bit in the stomach. Erlacher came out of the back of the car because the car was completely stuck. He couldn't go out, so we got him out. Then the Hungarian guy in the green Seat, yes, I don't know, one of the two. He was completely blocked. He couldn't go out of the car because everybody was packed. I think I was lucky. I just choose a middle part, and the only damage I have is my bumper here. But from Rob Huff's car, I mean, the engine was out. I mean, there's nothing left of the car. Nothing. I've never seen this in my life. It was a type of crash like you saw. Was it? I believe Martin Brundle in Australia. You know, when the engine completely got ripped off. What was it? The Jordan, I believe. That's how it looked like. It looked horrible over there. All the drivers were a little bit in panic.
We saw all of the drivers coming together to help each other.
Yeah, you know, this is the case. You're there. We are one big family, but yeah, there are a few in bad shape. That's all we know. A lot of cars damaged, a lot. I saw Thompson completely the front off. I saw Erlacher completely the front and the side. My teammate, a complete side. Tarquini, only a little scratch. The Filippi car, completely destroyed. Oriola car, completely destroyed. I mean, if they restart the race, but they will never start. They can never restart. But also the guardrail's gone, so I think they're lucky. We might be lucky if we drive before it's dark, I tell you. The guardrail, I mean, this is gone. It's the three plates, the big poles. It's a lot of damage. I'm just waiting until they open the gate or they open the hole, and we have to drive that direction. But the marshals just pushed me back. They said, please, because we have to open in the middle to take the cars away. Yeah, that's my update.
Thank you, Al. Thank you, Tommy. And again, just underlines, really, this is a very tight-knit paddock. It is very close. There's no closed garage doors. I mean, particularly here, there are no garage doors. You're in a tent, in a very hot, sweaty tent. But literally, as well as metaphorically, this is a very small family of predominantly extremely experienced racing drivers. Yes, Gianni Morbidelli, Gabriele Tarquini, you know, they've raced all the way up to Formula One. Not many of them will have seen an accident like this. And the concern to get everybody out, you know, that's the deal, because once the race is stopped, as it is like this, which then the concern for everybody is with their fellow man, with their fellow racing drivers.
And I think the unique thing about this particular accident is that the way the cars were all sort of tessellated together. Yeah. I think the concern was people being trapped in their car, and as you know, Tommy gave us a pretty good account of what was going on right in the middle of all that. And yeah, just when the cars are literally door to door, the concern is getting out. And as we look at the sad state of Rob's car, it's almost certain he won't be taking any further part in this race weekend.
Yeah.
That chassis is finished.
And you can see also the dust on the front. The fire extinguisher's gone off to extinguish the fire.